We are in a work environment that is very disengaged right now, especially for young people. And so you really need to capture attention. You also need to ensure that people are getting the right feedback at the right time, that they're getting praised and supported, because if they're not, then they sort of lose focus, they don't feel appreciated, and they're less likely to stay at your company long term.
Hey, welcome to Capterra's Guest Network series, where we talk to leading business influencers about how to work smarter by using the right software and technology at work. Like and subscribe, as always, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. I'm talking to Dan Schawbel. Dan is a world-renowned keynote speaker on the future of work, and he's also a best-selling author of several books that have been translated into multiple languages. Dan, welcome.
So happy to be here with you.
I've read your latest book, Back to Human. And in your book, you actually talk about it. You talk about how to create a workspace that addresses the needs of the new generation of workers. And what we did, we took some tips from your book and created it like a top 5 that I wanted you to respond to explain what you mean with every topic. Are you up for that?
I'm always up for it.
So number 1 is create a flexible workspace that mimics different work styles. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by this is we're all different. There's introverts, there's extroverts, there's people who just prefer to work in a cafeteria versus a phone booth versus a cubicle versus an office versus a meeting room. We're all very, very different. People like to work at, coffee shops, at home. And I think that when you think about the office, flexibility is not just remote work and synonymous with remote work. It's flexibility in terms of the office, because you want to support all these different work styles and different people who prefer different things, right? And you want to cater to them, because then no matter which employee you want to bring back into the office, their needs are supported by your work environment. So I think it's very important to be able to create an environment where everyone feels like they're comfortable, they can perform at their best, and they get to choose, right? Because on Tuesday, you go to the office and you might want to work at a cubicle, but on Wednesday, you're like, I don't want to work at a cubicle today. I want to work in the lounge area. And I think that that's the type of office that's going to provide the flexibility that people know and want.
Number 2, have the right technology. Does it also mean that you can use the wrong technology?
People want to use the technology that they have outside of the office in the office. It is the reason why there was a whole bring your own device to the office movement, where a lot of people were using BlackBerry phones in the office, and they're like, I use an iPhone outside the office. I want to bring this phone in the office, and that's why a lot of companies are supporting that. Even to this day, is because people are used to that technology. People want it. And so you got to mimic it, and that same technology you're using for your customers. So it's all very connected in that fashion. And so you need to be able to provide good technology in the office so that people who have already invested all of this money and time into choosing and creating the right type of technology based office environment, that they're going to the office and it's not dated technology from 10 years ago, right? Like if their computer at home is pretty fast and they go into the office and are like, this thing's slow, they're less likely to want to be in the office and use that type of technology.
Right. Number 3, make sure you give instant gratification. Why is that necessary?
It goes back to human behavior. Right? Like with everything, we want instant gratification. No one wants to wait a year for an annual performance review. No one wants to wait, 5 minutes for the next tweet or the next Instagram post or the next TikTok or whatever social media, right? Like everyone wants things immediately. There's no patience in today's society. The average attention span is just a few seconds now. And so you really need to capture attention. You also need to ensure that people are getting the right feedback at the right time, that they're getting praised and supported, because if they're not, then they sort of lose focus, they don't feel appreciated, and they're less likely to stay at your company long term.
Number 4, give a sense of belonging. In your book, you describe how you as a child, you didn't have that sense of belonging and how you didn't feel connected with the children around you. What did you learn from that experience when it comes to creating the sense of belonging in the office?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to find their tribe. They want people who will support them outside of their immediate family. And in the workplaces, it works very similar. And in fact, a lot of research shows that people are lacking friends and even best friends in the workplace, even though they're spending the majority of their lives working. And therefore, friends and best friends anchor you into the company. And so if you have great connections in the office, then you're more likely to go to the office, you're more likely to stay at your company and be loyal. If you don't, you're more likely to leave, even if it's for an extra $5,000 in your salary. So I think that good relationships are always important for creating a healthier, better work environment that breeds loyalty.
And number 5, connect the work to a purpose. So it's important for people to feel that their work has an impact and that it's meaningful, right? But how do you organize that according to you?
I think it comes down to the basic human need of dignity. And this is really important because if people feel like what they're doing matters, they're more likely to continue to do it. If there's a disconnect between what they're doing on a daily basis and the company's ability to maybe make money or to serve the community or to serve the world at large or to carry on the company's mission, then they're going to be less engaged. And actually, we are in a work environment that is very disengaged right now, especially for young people. And so it's really important that your company creates a story that's authentic, that connects what the company is doing to support the community, the world, etc., or what it's trying not to do, right? It could be environmentally, economically, etc., because then that is going to make people want to apply for a job at your company or stay with your company or be a leader at your company moving forward. And I think that's really, really essential, especially in today where there's a 24/7 news cycle. And if your company is not doing right by society, if it's inhumane in some regard, if your executives are doing something nefarious, that's going to really hurt your overall employer brand, and not just your overall brand that, in terms of you being able to acquire customers and maintain them, but also for your employees who are going to see that and be very turned off, and they're going to start looking for their next opportunity.
Thanks for your insights, Dan. And you, thanks for watching. And as always, like and subscribe on YouTube, LinkedIn or X.